Losing a job you love is scary. Losing yourself again is even scarier. This might be your chance at finally living the life you and your family deserve. All it takes is making one intentional decision. And this is what changed the course of my life and hopefully yours as well. That decision was to slow down and lift the lid on what was happening in my life. This was back in July 2024 when I had just been laid off from a job that I spent 6 years pouring my heart and soul into. And I was left broken, shattered, and really just a mess. So I'm begging you to slow down right now because this is the right time to start again. And it all starts with number one, giving yourself grace. Things take time. Take time to process. Take time to reflect. Take time to work out what it is that's going on for you. How are you feeling right now? Because for me, when it happened to me, I needed that separation time. I needed that time to really get back to what it is that is happening right now. How am I feeling with it? Started out annoyed, angry, upset. Then I went through the grief, right? And then I went through the whole what ifs, the regrets of what if I did this, what if I did that. Maybe I still have my role, have my job. But at the end of the day, you are what you are, and that's okay because it's what's needed here because it's the change you need. And I always think about Steve Jobs when he said, life is all about connecting the dots. But when you're looking forward, you can't actually see the dots and how they connect. It's only when you look backwards and you see that they can connect. I was just standing there looking forward and I just had to look forward. There's no other way, right? It's only when I started taking a few more steps down the road there that I can look back and say, oh, all that had to happen because it needed to when you get there. And so give yourself grace, okay? Give yourself grace because everyone else is probably giving you grace. You're probably the one that's not giving yourself the grace that you want or you deserve. That was totally true for me. I had my own expectations of how fast I should have got back into the workforce. Number two is about being intentional with what you want next and choosing what you want that works for you, not just take anything that is available here for you. And to do that, me and Shelby here got a few questions. I'm going to flick over to the screen here for you to see. And so those 4 questions are, what kind of person do you show as? Right? What type of environment would I like to be in? Yeah. What kind of leader do I want? Right? And what are my non-negotiables here? So some key parts here for me was I would show up as curious, understanding, compassionate, fair, and most of all, honorable. Super important for me, right? Environmentally, I wanted a place where the best idea wins. Meritocracy wins, not the loudest person here, right? I also wanted them to be respectful. So important for me here. Then when I thought about the type of leader I wanted to work with here, I wanted one that would support wholeheartedly and with little judgment there, right? Most of all, I also wanted someone who was truthful but empathetic, and then on top of that, they needed to be more of a sounding board than a solver for me. Lastly, and most importantly, my non-negotiables really were about injustice. I could not tolerate injustice, right? I want that to be very clear for me going forward, and that I was also going to not get pressured, right, to compromise my own integrity, my own principles there. And these are the things that helped me really define what kind of job I wanted in my next role here. Number 3 is about creating clarity for yourself financially, understanding where are you sitting financially right now. And so a lot of the times it's figuring out what have you been spending over the last 3 months, yeah, and figuring out what needs to be cut back, right? What is no longer essential. So you want to look at the last 3 months, right, of your expenses and work out what your runway is. Okay, here. How long do you think it'll take for you to get a job again here? For me, it took 6 months. I know some people it's taking much longer. And so plan out roughly what you think is reasonable with you and your family. Then be ready to have plan A and B and C, right? If that runway ends up extending, what that looks like, where we would have to cut things, where I might have to sell certain things, sell off investments, whatever it is that it means to do that there. And not only that, I think in this time, right, while you're trying to figure out where you want to go to next, don't be afraid to reach out and check out side hustles. Don't leave it too late like I did. I applied for, you know, the Amazon delivery stuff, the Australia Post seasonal jobs at the end of the year, right? Where they just get too many parcels. And then I did also things of like freelancing. I try to get freelancing gigs tied into my skills here. But not only that, I explored even further. I went out and checked out garage flipping. I flipped Pokemon cards as well, just to see what else can I make on the side here that would help supplement us through this time. So don't be afraid to do that. While we're on the topic of money, number 4 is make sure you budget for play and hobby as well. I can't stress this enough, because when, you know, I was laid off, I had a lot of time. Yeah, a lot of time to go do other stuff, but also a lot of time to go shopping, right? Online shopping. And it can, without that feeling of knowing what you can spend, right? You can get into this rabbit hole, just like I did, where I kind of like, you know, initially started into Pokemon, flipping, thinking I can resell stuff to go buy out my own collection. Then what happens? I end up holding on to more things that I do sell, right? And then that's kind of the problem that you can end up in here. You just end up buying more things to hopefully feel better for yourself. That's kind of like what happened to me. So don't be afraid to budget for your hobbies and the things that make you happy as well, right? All within moderation. As the Amazon delivery guy drops in some new packages for me. Number 5, guys, is about creating a routine to be better. After like probably 2 weeks of lounging around, doing nothing for a while, right? Enjoying gaming and all of that. Then all of a sudden I decided, hey, I needed a routine because I wasn't feeling productive. I wasn't getting where I wanted to get towards. So I had to set up a routine, and my routine kind of looked like this, right? It was like in the mornings, I would do probably like 2-3 hours of like job searching, applying for jobs, improving my CV, right? And then after that, go for a bike ride. Where I could, yeah, go for a 40-minute, 60-minute ride there. And then from there, come back, you know, rest up, have some lunch. And then I would then move on and accept that, hey, look, you know, I'll probably try and network, reach out to friends, connect with friends, talk to them again there via WhatsApp, whatever it is there. And then after that, you know, still got some time, I'm going to go play some games and enjoy my time a bit there, you know. Otherwise, if I'm not, I'm going out to catch up with friends. And this is so important to have build out a rough routine so that you get the most important stuff you need done as soon as you can, or when is most productive for you, so that you at least are moving things forward. Otherwise, it can be very easy for your partner to feel like you're just lounging around all day, achieving nothing, and no one wants that conversation at the end, right? Oh, gotta stand up for some of this next one because this is a biggie, right? Number 6, guys, is the punches will keep rolling and coming for you. In these moments here, it'll feel like a flood. In that moment, you know, after being laid off, you know, we found out we were having a baby, right? And so first time being a dad, so I'm worried about how am I going to manage being a father, a jobless father too. That was a big worry for me. We had committed to buying some solar battery for our home, right? Not a cheap investment, right? That was over $20,000. And on top of that, I had car insurance, car renewals that popped up at the same time here. It'll feel like a test. You'll be sitting there. I was sitting there going, why me? Woe me? All of that stuff too. But then I had to shift my mind and really focus on, look, if the universe didn't believe I could handle it, then it wouldn't give it to me. Yeah. And not only that, it believes I can handle it and that I'm going to grow from it. And that's a big thing here for me. And that's so important. That's why this step here is so important for you to remember, that these punches are going to keep coming for you, because it is telling you, the universe is telling you, you're ready for more. And so as I'm telling you, getting ready for more, get ready for this right hook. My channel is only brand new here. So guys, if this is enjoyable content, if this is valuable for you, please head on over to subscribe and join the little family over there that we're building towards here. And so I would appreciate that more than anything. So back to it. All right, I think I better sit down for this one here, right? Because this next one, right, is about, oops, hey, shell. It's about, this is number 7. It's about running your own race here. And this is the hard part here, is that for me, when I was like looking for a job, it's hard, right? You're gonna go out, you're gonna meet family, you're gonna meet friends, and you're gonna meet other people. And it's so hard to not compare yourself to how other people are going. Because I remember like my cousin's like wife, right? She was getting laid off at the same time as me. A week later, she's like, oh yeah, I found another job somewhere else, and I'm getting paid like 6 months out as well from my old job. So like, we're sweet, right? I'm gonna go out and buy, a Camaro. And I was like, wow, goodness me, right? Like, a part of me felt really envious, felt really jealous. And I'll tell you the truth is, I came back home with my wife and I'm just like, honey, I feel so crap. Like, what's wrong with me? I've been applying for like 3 months and I still can't get anything. Can't even get interviews. And, a part of me was just hating myself and felt like I was worthless. And, she was very supportive of me. She just said, things take time and it's okay. And there's the thing I want to tell you is run your own race. Yeah. Run your own race, because afterwards when I caught up with them, the wife was telling me that she's not really enjoying the job anymore, right? And that's the thing it comes all back down towards that decision of being intentional, not just grabbing what you want. And so remember here, you're in your own race. You don't need to look to the side, see how everyone else is doing. Focus on yourself, focus on what you're looking for here. And sometimes that just takes a little bit of patience, right? Back to number one, it's just all about giving yourself that grace. If you're able to, give yourself that runway to keep going. This then brings me over to number 8, right? Mastering the chatter of up here, of what's going on. And this is the thing here, is we can either be a slave to the voice inside, or we can actually be the master of it. And it's about realizing your voice inside your head is just there to try and protect you. Right. That's why, in that time there, I was getting anxious on things. I was getting worried on things. Most of all, it's important, right, that you actually have someone to talk about with it, because it's scary. It's scary to put yourself out there. And so I'm just very lucky and very fortunate. I have some very good friends. I have a beautiful wife who's super understanding as well, and actually helped me work through a lot of this, especially for males out there, to really share what's going on in your head, because people want to be, your loved ones want to help you, but they can't help you if you're closed up and you're just bottling it all up inside of yourself. And so that was a lot of work for me to realize, to just share that, to let them know that, hey, I'm worried about this. It doesn't make you less of a man. Often they're going to help you stay grounded. It's all about staying grounded. It's about going back to focus and keep it in focus, what you're trying to build towards here, how you're trying to rebuild your life, reset your life in the way that you want, and sticking to that here. And that does take time. Number 9 is about taking a step out of your comfort zone and your environment. And so let's do this, right? Let's take you guys back outside. Let's go back outside, right, guys? And so back here, now that it's the rain's over, right? Just like life, you're going to go through a rainy season, and then beautiful sunshine's going to come out. And so if you're able to, I highly recommend you taking some time out with your family to go on a vacation, small vacation, just to reset. So when I did this, I was probably like 3 months in? I think, yeah, 3 months into the job search. And we actually went to Japan, me and my wife, right? We did a little baby moon just before our baby was born here. And so it was an awesome time. It was beautiful to just relax, reframe things, and most of all get out of my new routine that I had built, right? And that was super important, because I needed that reset. I needed that reset for myself to enjoy life, to enjoy the things and experience new things again here. And so highly recommend, if you get a chance, right? If you're able to sustain it, go out, have a trip somewhere, could even be local somewhere as well. Just change up your environment, because it can get stale, you being at home all the time, doing the routine that you built as well. Number 10, the final one, is take the hints. I laugh at this because, how I go. I love this because, there's been so many hints that have been dropped at me here where it's pushing me back into entrepreneurship. It's pushing me back into running my own business. It's pushing me back into starting things like this, trying to build up my own personal brand, because, I'm just not having the luck that I'm finding. I'm just not positioning myself well into a job again here. And it's just about, okay, that's what's happening. That's what's happening. Could be me. It most likely is me. And so I'm going to change course here, and I'm going to experience different things, because why? There's signs that are showing me that it can work, right? it can work. And what do I mean by that? That's why I started like this whole video thing here, getting back onto social media after being away for almost like, 5 years plus. I started doing the Gary V stand challenge for 90 days, where I posted a video pretty much almost every day there for 90 days. I'm leaning in more with what's happening here in the world, sharing with you my journey of being a new dad, trying to figure out life right here and trying to figure it out while being authentic and being as intentional as I can in it here. And so if that resonates with you, if that aligns with you, that's something you're looking for, feel free to subscribe here. And of course, leave a comment. I'd love to hear what's one intentional decision, one intentional action you're going to be taking to take your life and reset it in the way that you want to be living, because this is the way you deserve it.